Hey everyone, today we're going to be creating a marketing agency website created on Squarespace. This will include all the pages you'll need to get your business up and running. I'll walk you through on how to build the landing page, an About Us page, services page, work showcase page, case study, and a contact us page. We'll also be optimizing this website for desktop and mobile view. This tutorial is suitable for anyone looking to create a website, so you don't need any knowledge on how to use Squarespace, as I'll be walking you through everything that you need, such as the code, what elements to use and whatnot. So all I'd ask is that you just leave some support in this video, leave a like or subscribe, as it took a really long time to create this video, like a few weeks, so I'd really appreciate that. Now without further ado, let's get into the video, and as always the links are in the description. So let's get into it, and I'm just going to show you a bit of the design that I designed in Figma. So just starting off with the colors, here we have the colors and the fonts I decided to choose for the project. So going back to the file here, you can see just the whole design in general. Now the Figma file is not perfect, so just please bear that in mind. Like, I haven't even named any of the groups. This is just all for reference, just to have something to design with in Squarespace, so please bear that in mind. And yeah, these are just all the pages that I'm going to be designing and also turning into a mobile view straight onto Squarespace. So let's open up Squarespace and get designing. So guys, I've just created a new website here, and just starting it from a blank canvas here, as we already have the design, so we don't need to start with any templates or anything like that. So yeah, we're just going to go straight into it, and I'm going to just first off create, just since we have the colors and the fonts that we want to choose, we're going to just select them right away. So we're going to just do that. So if you click onto the headings or the font section here, you'll be able to just choose your font, like your heading and paragraph font, and just also choose their sizing. And yeah, here's where I've just selected the Georgia font for the heading, and then also Nunito Sans for the paragraph font. So yeah, I think these fonts work really well for this design, and yeah, feel free to change it up for your own branding or whatnot. So yeah, if you want to just stick to the tutorial, you can just follow along here. So here I've just chosen the Nunito Sans font for the paragraph section here, and I'm also just adjusting the heading and the paragraph sizing here, and I don't always get it right on the first try, so I always come back to this section if I feel like one of the headings or the paragraphs are too big or small. So it's always good to just, you know, take a little break and then see how the design is looking, and then see if you need to make any adjustments with a fresh eye. So I always just do that. And onto the colors now. I'm just copying and pasting all the values that I have on the Figma file. I think I also have another pink color there that I've added, so if I've forgotten, I might have it into the description or under the Figma file, so please forgive me for that if I messed up there. And yeah, I think I did mess up because I've used the pink color here, so I'm gonna actually just add the color hex values or hex codes into the description, just in case if you don't have Figma and whatnot. So yeah, onto the buttons. Since I already have an idea of what we're going to use, I'm going to use a pre-made button here from Squarespace. So yeah, I'm just going to adjust the values and use the paragraph font for the buttons here. Okay, and for the rest of the settings, we're going to come back to them, such as the animations and the form, once we get to that section. But right now we're just going to adjust the navigation and the desktop view, and then we'll get back to the mobile view and whatnot. So here I'm just adding one of the buttons here, the CTA buttons, and yeah, I'm just going to also be adjusting the style value, because I always notice that the heading navigation it's always a bit bigger. So yeah, I always have a hard time adjusting this, but I always get there in the end, so that's what matters. So I've just created I added that button as a secondary button, and then since I applied all the styling to all the buttons, I messed up, so I had to just reset the stylizing for all the buttons there. So yeah, if you notice it's not working, just reset it there and it should work there. So here we go, we have the outline secondary button here for the nav. And yeah, I'm also just gonna adjust some of this padding because it's just way too big. Yeah, I don't really like having big buttons and a lot of padding. It's not I don't know, just doesn't look aesthetically pleasing. So I'm just gonna align this here to what I think looks best for the time being, and if any changes need to be made, I'll do that in the future, but for right now I think it should be okay. Okay, so we're just gonna add our hero section now. So we're gonna start off with a blank section here, and this one should be kind of straightforward, this section. Well, hopefully it is. I'll try and make it as easy as possible here. So we've just added a text section here, just copying the text from the Figma file and then just aligning it to the center. And then we're also just going to add another text section to the here section. And I'm just going to be copying the text also from the Figma file and then aligning it to the center, literally just the same as the heading section. And you'll notice that I'm using the paragraph section more like I'm making it a bit smaller than the hero section, as I'm using it more, how do I say it, like aligning it, dragging the focus down to the bottom of the page, so more like a funnel. It looks like a funnel, yeah. So that's what I'm doing. It's more like a psychological thing there. So yeah, here now we're just adding the button, and this should be straightforward. Just bring in a button field section there, and we're just going to create the gradient section for a lot of the sections. So we're going to just copy in the values from the Figma file, and just adjusting the blur then or turning on the blur, and then adjusting the values to just see what works best. And then we're going to just duplicate the shape here, the circle, and just change the values to each of them to correlate to the design. So I've just adjusted the values to each of the shapes, and I'm just reducing the opacity for the values. And I do notice it's a bit awkward. You have to drag the slider down on the palette first, and then you can adjust it on the customs tab. It's a bit awkward. So yeah, I don't know, that should be something that you can adjust on all of them, but I guess not. So we're just manually doing them on each of the shapes, and we'll then adjust the shapes to our liking. So I've adjusted the shapes, and I'm just overlapping them here just to create a nice gradient between them to make it seamless. And now we're just going to add our hero image, and now that it's uploaded, we can adjust it to our liking. And I'm just going to add it to fill instead of to the fit. So yeah, you'll notice that I had some stroke along the border of the image. You can add a cut in the custom CSS if you want, or you can leave it without, because I'm assuming you're going to use your own image here, and yeah, only if you want you can add that. I just added it more for design purposes, but it'll work without it. It's not anything major there. And now to make the design a bit more interesting, I'm adding in a few more pop-ups here just to showcase some of the results that this company has created. And the way I'm doing is just I've added a shape there, and it made a white shape and rounded off the corners, and now I'm just adding a bit of text, and then I'm just going to add an icon here, and it should be a bit straightforward. And I'm just aligning that to the center, and then I'm going to just upload the image here. And now that the image is uploaded, I can now just adjust the section to my liking, and just seeing how it fits, because coming from Figma to Squarespace is never going to be 100% perfect. So we're going to just try align it to our best ability and just see what works best. So you'll notice that I had to make this a little bit bigger than I originally wanted, but I guess that's just how it is. But feel free to play around with this hero section, this is just something I came up with, so feel free to change it up entirely or get rid of them. Like you'll see in the mobile view that I just disabled these sections because it just wouldn't work in the home or in the mobile view. So yeah, I guess I'm just going to skip to the next section, as the next icon is just a copy paste of this section here. So feel free to just do the same thing again, pretty much. So onto the next section here, we're going to be creating the Why Choose Us section here, and this section we're going to be adding a little bit of code. I've tried keeping the code to this website very minimal so you can follow along and it not be too complicated. So we're going to start off with creating the text section here, and you'll notice in the hero section that pop up there, it's not that great, so I'm going to adjust it later on, just so you're aware of it. You know, it's I noticed it there, but I didn't change it. I was just too focused on creating the next section. So yeah, we're gonna use a heading 2 here. Just for your information, most websites, well, all the websites, you know, you should start with just one heading, H1, and then the rest you can use H2, H3, and whatnot. It's just more for SEO and practices, you know. So yeah, we're just gonna add another text field and just add our paragraph here, and then we're gonna add all the values that, you know, for Why Choose Us, pretty much. So feel free to change up all these, and we just add it in the shape here, and we're gonna use the white, and then lower down the opacity, and then round off the border or the corners. And now holding shift and clicking the 3 shapes there, and then Command C and V, I just brought down the gradients here, just to, instead of recreating them again, I've just copied and pasted them here. So yeah, feel free to do that. And yeah, here I've rounded off the corners, and then adjusted the size, and I'm gonna come back to that and just see what works best. And here I've noticed also that the grid was a bit too small here, so I'm gonna adjust that after a bit. But first off, I'm just gonna copy another text or add a new one here, and then just copy and paste the text I already have. So you'll see here that I've just added both of the texts, like the heading and the paragraph, in the same text field here. I just find it a bit easier to do that. Sometimes it can be a bit awkward to play around it, but I just find moving the text fields around from desktop to mobile, it just gets a lot more time consuming. Whether if I just do it like this, it's just a bit more easier for myself. So I'm just adding them all in one section here, and then it's just, this section now is just more copy and paste here. So copying the shapes and then copying everything. So just using that Command C and Command V here saves a lot of time. So we're just going to do this a few more times, and I'll come back to you. So this is how the final section is looking right now, but we'll do a few more adjustments. And like I mentioned with the CSS, we're going to just do that right now. So going to the Pages tab, as I believe, and then going to, just 1 second here, just please cooperate with me. Going to the Pages tab, and then going to the Website Tools, and then Custom CSS, and then this is where we'll be just adding in that bit of code like I mentioned. And it's fairly straightforward. I'll also add this to a Word doc or whatnot, so you can have it available. But pretty much you'll need a Squarespace ID finder, and I'll also link that as well into the description, just so you're able to copy all the values. I know it's a bit more awkward than a lot of other website tools or builders, but this ID finder is a lifesaver when you're creating custom CSS in Squarespace. So yeah, I've just copied all those values, and then I'm just adding a border to those values. And as you see here, it's just like it doesn't recognize the border radius on the shapes, so we're just gonna add our own one here and adjust it to fit the whole shape here. So yeah, very straightforward. I think we're just gonna add it one more time for the mobile view, and then we're gonna continue as we build the website, add, because we're going to use the shape again and again, so we're going to just copy and paste those. Sorry, I know I'm talking a lot here. Yeah, we're going to copy and paste those values again into the CSS. Okay, so on to the next section. We're just going to be creating a trust credibility section here to just show off the brands and to prove why they should hire us again. So we're just adding a shape and an image section here, and we're just going to add the shape from the file and then just adjust this section here. So for some reason Squarespace wasn't letting me upload the image here, so if that's happening to you, just refresh the page because you're going to be waiting a while like I did. So yeah, just do that. So I'm just going to copy the text from the previous section and just paste them in here because it just saves us a bit of time. So just copy the heading and the paragraph text and just going to change it up there. And before I copy the button into the new section, we just have to adjust the button real quick there. So I put it from fit to fill, and this is just mainly because the sizing just is a bit too big there. So I like the sizing with the fill section. And now we're just going to copy and paste it into the section here, and also just copy the paragraph and just bring it below the button here. And yeah, this is just pretty much just to show the brands that we worked with. So we're just going to be putting them below the button there. And now it's time to finally just place that image in. It just took a bit of time, but yeah, we just updated it there and adjusted the corner radius, and then just adjusting that shape as well to fit the images that we're going to be placing in. So for yourself, if you don't like, these are obviously just placeholder images, you might want to use something like Figma or Photoshop to create a nice little circle around it, or if not, just bring the logo straight in. Just see what works best for you. So we just uploaded the image there. Now we're just going to pretty much copy and duplicate it a few more times and update the images. Okay, so just uploaded all the images there, and now I'm aligning them to the left. Yeah, make sure everything is just aligned to the left how you want it there, because I didn't really like the spacing of a middle line. So there you have it. Also just in a bit of the paragraph, just to adjust the padding. So that's why we're doing that. Just make it, group everything that should be together as it should be, just make it make sense to the eye that these are separate from the paragraph or the button and whatnot. So you see here the brand section here with the images is separate from the button and the paragraph and the heading there. So we're just creating the new section here now and just copying the gradient here, and I'm just going to be adjusting it a little bit to center to the right here. And yeah, you'll see that the gradient, the right one, that's the only one that can go to the full section here. So we're just going to adjust it a little bit, or to the full width, sorry. And we're just going to try to adjust it to make it the gradients look as seamless as possible. So I'll come back to you once that's done. And now, yeah, we have it finished there. So we're just going to copy another heading here and then bring it down as well. And then we're going to also copy a button as well. So yeah, you'll notice it's just a lot of copy and paste. And yeah, you want to keep your designs as repetitive as you can, but obviously not too repetitive, because you want to keep the design consistent. So that's why we're doing that there. It's not because it's easier to do and whatnot. Of course it is there, but it's just to keep some consistency with the design. So we're also just going to copy one of them card sections that we had already created and bring it down to this section here. So this is where we're going to also add in an icon for this section. And you'll see also that I tried adjusting it with the circle icon, but I decided to go against that and just keep the icon as it is. So yeah, just it was a bit awkward in Squarespace to do it like a circle and then have the image in it. And yeah, I'll just show you what I mean. So you see here, like the icon here, it's the same size as the circle in the background, and it's just, yeah, it's not going to align well here. So obviously I could have just taken the circle with the icon and just made it a PNG, but I decided to just get rid of it there and just keep the icon as it is. And yeah, I think it still looks great here. So yeah, feel free to do that as well. And onto the text there, we're just going to copy and paste the new values into this section here. And yeah, you'll notice as well, if you're going to be doing like the way I did it with the list like 1 and 2 and 3, you'll notice that they kind of go a bit indented there, and yeah, I don't really want that, so I came up with a way there to solve that issue. So if that's happening to you, yeah, follow along here. So what you want to do is just add in a few more extra numbers pretty much. So you see here I added in like a level 11.2, got rid of the other extra numbers, and then yeah, it seemed to work there. So yeah, I don't know why that happens. I guess it's just something in the code or whatnot. So yeah, what we're going to be doing now is just copying the values here, or the cards, and yeah, rearranging the values and the icons. So it should be fairly straightforward here. And actually, one thing that I forgot to do for all the sections here, because I only noticed it when creating the cards there, was adjusting all the grid sizing, so like the padding between all the elements. So see here, I'm just adjusting it to 20 there. Yeah, I don't know how I didn't realize that until now. So yeah, I'm just adjusting them now there, and yeah, making basically the grid more consistent with all the elements. So you see here, I'm just going back and just adjusting everything there. So we're obviously going to adjust it for this section here, and yeah, just rearrange everything just to make it fit well. And yeah, also I forgot to adjust the bottom columns there, the bottom row padding. Sorry, I can't speak. Yeah, so we're just gonna align that to make it all consistent with the design. And yeah, sorry if I'm going back and forth with all the elements. You know, I'm a perfectionist. You know, it's never fully done for me. I always like to just keep adjusting elements and going back and forth. So that's just kind of how I work. You know, everyone's different, so that's just how I work. And yeah, we just updated all the icons there, and then finished off with the text there, and then also rearranged the text there and the button, and then realigned them to make them closer to each other, to not appear as two separate groups like I mentioned before. So yeah, I brought that to top alignment, and then this to the bottom alignment there. So onto the portfolio / projects section here. Obviously going to just copy some heading and paragraph text there to keep our life simple, and then we'll go from there. So I just center aligned the heading and the paragraph text, and now we're just bringing in the image block. I'm going to duplicate that a few times, but first off we're going to rearrange the padding, don't forget about that, and yeah, we will see what works best. So we just brought in all the images there, and now we're just going to be adjusting them a bit, make them a bit taller, and yeah, arranging the section a bit more here, so to have the 20 paragraph or the 20 padding for the horizontal and vertical. So yeah, the row and column, sorry. So yeah, we're just going to be adjusting that, and then just adding in more text and buttons there. Now that I have all the text copied in there, and then we're just going to add our button here, and then align it to the center there as well, because we just copied it from the previous section. And now what we'll have to do now is just add in the gradient. So also another copy and paste job there. Cool, so we have it in, and now we're just going to bring the gradient to the back there. So you see I just pressed that button there, and it brought it all the way to the back there. So I'm also just adjusting it to just sit behind the images there. So it also just gives like a slight gradient to the rest of the elements there, which I quite like. So yeah, that's why I'm keeping it like that. So onto the pricing section here. So what we're going to be doing here is, it might be a little bit more complicated, this section, but yeah, I think it works out really well. So we're just going to grab our shape here, and then just at the top and the bottom, or the top left and right corner radiuses there. So we're going to leave the bottom ones 0, and then we're just going to copy and paste our heading and paragraph font. And to turn the text white, you see here that you just press the text, and there should be like a button for the color swatch. So just click that there. You don't have to go to your themes or anything like that to change it for the section, because we're using the same theme for all the sections. So if we start changing that to white, then all the other text will turn white, and we don't really want that because it's just for one occasion that we're going to be doing this. And we're just bringing in another shape here, and I'm leaving it purposely above the black shape there, and you'll see why in a minute. And I'm also just make sure to adjust the bottom left border radius to 20 there, and yeah, you'll also see in a minute why. And then also just copy and paste the same shape onto the right side, and then change the border radius from the bottom left to the bottom right. So yeah, we're just doing that, and then just copy the shape again, and bring that to the center, and we'll be changing this color to the beige color and making it a little bit bigger, and adjusting the border radius from the bottom to keeping it to all the shapes. So we're just using the 20 border radius there. And yeah, also don't forget to readjust the opacity for the white shapes here. So I'm just bringing them down to 35. So what you want to do then is just bring in a text block here, and then copy and paste. I know it gets repetitive, but it saves us a lot of time. Yeah, copy and paste your values, your text, and then we will create another text block and do the same pretty much. And one thing that you'll see me doing here now is just using emoji like ticks instead of just bringing in a separate image icon, because I've tried that before and it's just a bit more awkward than actually just using these emojis. So if you're planning on doing something like this, yeah, I'd suggest just sticking with the emojis and to stay away from images, because it might look great here, but then in mobile it just gets a little bit more awkward. So yeah, we're preventing this now. So yeah, with the text above, I just made it bold, so you can press Command B to achieve that. And I'm also adding in 2 more separate text blocks and aligning into the center just for the pricing. So yeah, you'll see here I'm just aligning to the center, and then also just did the alignment section. So you'll see here I used the top alignment for the pricing number, and then I'm just moving the section a bit to make it a bit smaller. So just, you know, after all the elements are done, I always like to just rearrange a little bit, create, you know, create the padding around all the sections just to make it look as aesthetically pleasing as possible. So sorry, don't mind me rambling on. You know, I always like to just help out as I can. And yeah, if you have any tips or advice that you want to or you need help on, you know, feel free to message me. You know, I'm always available to help. So that's what I love doing. I just like to help people. And sorry if you weren't paying attention, I just added in a shape here, a rectangle, and adjusted the corner radius to make it kind of the button pretty much. So we're going to be doing that, and then bring it in another text block here, copy and pasting I should say, and yeah, making it so yeah, it's like a little tag basically for the most popular section here, the most popular pricing. So yeah, the reason we're doing this is more just kind of because it goes into kind of color and pricing psychology. So you see here we're trying to anchor the most popular pricing into the middle, and also diverting the eyes to this pricing because it's a bit bigger than the other sections, and it has a different color, so your eyes immediately go to the section here. So that's why we're doing this. You always want to, if you have like a three-tier system, always differentiate the one you want to sell the most, because in that way, you know, people will naturally gravitate to that option. So here I also didn't like how the tag was looking, so I just changed the paragraph to paragraph 3, and that made it just a bit smaller there, so you can see they're much nicer and it doesn't stand out so much in your face. So now the rest of the section is pretty much straightforward, you know, just a lot of copy and pasting the different elements, and yeah, I'll get back to you once it's all pretty much copied. So yeah, here it is there now. We've just copied in everything, and now let's go on to the next section, which will be the FAQ section. So we'll be doing that there now. Just create a blank section here, and we'll start from that. I've just copied in some of the text and the gradient here, as by now I'm sure it should be quite simple for you to bring these in, so I thought I'd just skip that. So we're just bringing in an accordion block, for the FAQ, and then also a shape just to have underneath the accordion block. So you're also just going to change the color to white and then lower down the opacity. So we'll be doing that, and then also rounding off the corners to 20. And yeah, here we're changing the color and changing the opacity. Sorry guys, I actually messed up. I got rid of the shape there and then just used the shape that was already in the accordion block itself and just adjusted that setting here. So I was just more or less just playing around just to try to get it as close as possible to the original design, and I know it's not going to be 100%, but we're going to try to the best of our ability. So right now we're just changing the shape, just using the same attributes as the previous shape, so the opacity to 35 and a white, and then also a border to it, a white 2 pixel, solid white 2 pixel. So this is what we're doing here, and then I'm also just going to be trying to adjust some of the padding just to make it more coherent there. So you'll see now I'm also just adding in some of the questions. I didn't fill the text in because I didn't really see a need to, but feel free to take these questions or create your own. So here you can see some of the settings I used. So I'm using the top and bottom padding as 8%, and then the left and right to 10%, and then the accordion padding and like the items themselves you can just see on the screen there. I'm just adjusting them right now, so that's why I'm not calling them out. It's just more to what I think is best. Everyone has their own opinion, so feel free to just play around with everything here just to get some experience working with the design. So that's what I'm doing here, and also I'm lowering the opacity to the dividers just to not make them as jarring. So so this is what the result is, and then we're just gonna adjust the gradients here just to make them a bit smaller, and then we're gonna move on to the next section here. So the last thing I'm doing is just adjusting the bottom padding for the items there. So just a quick one before I finish off with this section. And now for the final CTA. It's always good to have something like this on your website, just because it saves people from scrolling back to the top or just to another section to click on a button. So if they made it this far to your website, that means that they're really intrigued and interested, and probably really good leads, or really will probably get in touch with you. So that's a good sign. So what we're doing here is just adding in a shape and an image, and we already placed the image here and adjusted the radius to 20, and then also don't forget to adjust the gaps here. So just aligning them to 20 each, so top and bottom 20, and then also we have our shape, which will be adding the border radius, and then we're just going to be copying and pasting some text and some buttons. So that's fairly straightforward. This section didn't take too much, so we're going to get straight to the footer then. And before we actually go to the footer, I'm just going to show you the design before you say anything. So this is how it's looking. Now let's get to working on the footer. So we're just going to take one of these pre-made templates from Squarespace and just adjust it a little bit, because the site doesn't have many navigation links and whatnot, so we don't need a complex footer or anything like that. So just something simple with the social media links, then the few navigation links, and then the logo that we have. So that's what I'm just going to do right here, and it's fairly straightforward. I'm just going to take one of the text blocks, but if you're using your own logo, you're going to use the image block and just put your logo in it. So that's very straightforward. And then of course I'm going to add my own signature to the website. So you can feel free to use my one if you've used this tutorial and found it helpful. If not, I'm not going to be mad or anything like that. So this is how it's looking right here. Also, I forgot to mention that I just added a line as well. You can find that in when you're searching up for the inputs or the block to put in. So yeah, this is how it's looking there. So we need to now create the mobile version. So I don't have the Figma file for that. I just thought it'd be I'll freestyle it with the on Squarespace, because since I don't think it'll take too long. But I'm just adding in some animations now. Like how I mentioned at the start, I was going to add in some animations. We'll get to this. So here it is now. We just wanted to check out which one works best. There's a good few out there, so just check out which one you prefer. Honestly, I think it's just down to preference. I don't think it really makes too much of a difference. Well, to be fair, it's just depending on the website, but feel free to experiment. This is why you're watching this tutorial. You don't have to follow it 100%. You can add your own elements to it. So yeah, I'll finish off with that. Okay, so great, you've made it this far to the video. Yeah, so let's get started on the mobile optimization. So there is pros and cons of Squarespace when it comes to converting your desktop design to your mobile. Like it is easy, but it's also it can get annoying as well. Like you see here that all the elements are just stacked one after the other. Like I do get it, but it just makes a lot of like dragging up and down. It can get a bit awkward, but nonetheless, we'll carry on. And right now, yeah, we're just adjusting the hero section, and I was trying to figure out if I can make this work, this section, but I don't. I just thought against it and just got rid of it entirely. So you'll see, I'm just going to add some CSS code, which will just not display it in mobile view. Like, so it'll work in desktop but not mobile. So yeah, it just looks a bit cleaner, and yeah, I don't think you need it for mobile anyways. So yeah, right now as well, I'm just adjusting all the elements to make them fit to mobile view. And yeah, I guess we'll cut to when I finish the hero section, because I don't think it's too complicated here. But actually, before I do, I just want to show just a bit of what I was saying with the code. So I'm just selecting all the elements that I don't want to show on mobile. So just like the shape, the icon, the text, and then I'm just going to be using display none. So that will get rid of them for mobile. And of course, you got to use the media query. But yeah, it's and I'm also using that Squarespace ID finder to get the elements. And as mentioned, it is in the description. So feel free to use that. It helps a ton when you're editing with CSS. So here we go. Here's the hero section finished there. I think it's looking great. So now onto the next section, and this is what I mean with more. It's just all the elements are stacked one after the other. It's just a lot of time consuming, of like dragging, dropping everywhere. So yeah, that's kind of it with the mobile optimization. Like, it is good as well, because since you already have your design in desktop, it isn't as hard to create in mobile. So you'll notice that this section or the whole mobile optimization won't take as long, because the whole design is already created. We just need to rearrange the elements to fit in mobile. So yeah, you'll see this will go by really quick, this section. And yeah, I just actually wanted to show you how I'm adjusting the gradients as well. So I'm grabbing them all together using Shift, and then just dragging them down. So yeah, I actually just realized I forgot to mention to use Shift when you're clicking all the elements that you want to move around. So yeah, it might be a bit too late, but hopefully it's not too much of a hassle. And of course, if anything, you could always message or comment in the description, or no, in the comments. Yeah, so this is how that section is looking, and then we'll go straight into the next one. And yeah, of course, if there's anything like the alignment here, you can always come back to it as well. So, and now onto the truss section here, where I'm just going to be rearranging everything again to fit into the shape here. So you'll see here, that's, like I mentioned before, it's very straightforward. And actually, what I do like about the Squarespace mobile view is that it is easy to create them, to adjust everything. So I'll give them that. But yeah, like I said, there is pros and cons to all this stuff. And also I forgot to mention to just adjust the grid element, so I forgot to do that. So here's your chance to do it. And right now I'm just aligning all the, or moving about some of the elements, adjusting their arrangement. So just to get how it was on the desktop. And you can see here as well the images. I kept them all in one row there, and then just adjusting the image as well that's there. So, and this is why I like just designing the desktop view first and then the mobile, because the design gets very straightforward then, and you don't really have to do much thinking when you're designing a mobile. Like for example, I didn't even design the mobile view in Figma, so I didn't really need to, because it just was quite simple. So that's another thing just to keep in mind if you are designing. Like, I know there's some people that like to design mobile first and then go to desktop, but personally I think desktop you can let your creativity out and then minimize it in mobile. So with mobile, when you're designing first, it's kind of hard to visualize it in desktop. I think so, because there's only so many elements that you can move about in mobile view, whereas on desktop there's a lot more variation. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you are ever designing your own website, and you don't know where to start. So that's what I suggest, but like I said, up to yourself. And you've probably noticed I'm skipping a lot of the mobile view here, because it's just a lot of repetitiveness, and we've already designed the sections in desktop, so I'm just assuming that you probably know how to use them. But here's just another tip as well. So you see here that there's so much space, so many gaps in when you're designing in mobile here. It can get a bit awkward moving elements like the groups and whatnot. So what I do sometimes is I grab all the elements with the shift key like I did there, and then just dragging it down with the arrow key. So pressing down on the arrow key, or alternatively you can just use your cursor and drag it there. But I feel like sometimes it can break. Well, not break, but it kind of stops at a certain point. So that's what sometimes I just use the mouse, the down arrows, or the arrows. Sorry, I can't even speak. But yeah, here I'm just adjusting all the sections here. So nothing too complicated. And of course, with the gradient, like I mentioned in the previous section, I'm just gonna drag it from the top of that card to the bottom of the section. So yeah, like I'm doing here. So that section is pretty much done there. All it needs then is just some alignment to just make sure all the buttons are, all the cards are perfect and whatnot. So and then we're gonna go on to the next section. So onto the next section here, I've just skipped a bit forward here, just to show you kind of something what I've been doing differently in this section. So instead of grabbing all the gradient and dragging it from the top of the section to the bottom, I'm instead just using it separately for each image here. So the yellow gradient I'm using for the top one, the orange for the middle, and the bottom for the pink one for the bottom one. So that's what I'm doing different instead, because I just didn't think it looked as nice. So that's one difference here. And like I mentioned, it is pretty straightforward with everything, just realigning. And if you need a reference, just always go back to the desktop version just to get an idea where every element was placed, and then go from there. But as you see here, it's all coming along. And for the pricing section, I just want to give you a quick demo of what I was doing here, just a little run through. So just all the shapes I would just overlap in and made sure that the middle one was on top. So you'll see here, just to keep kind of the corner radius, how we did before, I just adjusted them as well. You see the bottom one there, I adjusted so that the bottom two had the border radius. So yeah, you can play around with this yourself, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that just in case you were stuck or anything like that. And onto the FAQ one here. This is probably the quickest section here, because it's just a text block and a gradient, and then just the gradients, which I'll just be putting underneath. So this one's fairly straightforward here, so not much to it. And onto the final CTA here. I'm just aligning everything and making sure it's all fitting well. And yeah, I'm just doing the same stuff that I mentioned before. And yeah, I know you're probably sick of me hearing it, but I just want to stress the fact that it can be quite simple designing. So don't be discouraged. And yeah, the reason I'm leaving out a lot of stuff is because it is simple. And yeah, that's that's the reason why. So yeah, we're pretty much done here. Just onto the footer now, which is pretty much done already. You just have to center everything, and then yeah, you just move the social links as well, and then that should be done. And one minor thing I forgot to do was add the white borders around all the card sections on this section here. So yeah, you'll see me just adding it here. I forgot to do it, and yeah, I know you know, sometimes I forget, so it's fine. You know, we're human, we make mistakes. Okay, so the website is pretty much done. I just always like to have a quick run through of the website just to make sure it's all looking well, and if there's any adjustments that need to be made. Like for example, I just noticed the gradient here was just too big, so I'm just going to adjust that quickly. So it's always good to do that as well once you finish your website, just to make sure it's all looking well and how you wanted it. So yeah, here's just an example of what I did here. I'll get back to you if I adjust anything else. Yeah, so this card here I adjusted, and yeah, because I noticed at the start, but I only got back to it when it was nearly done. So I'm just adjusting some of the grid section here just to see if I can make it any better. And here I also noticed that the final CTA, the padding was just too big, so I just wanted to quickly adjust that as well. So I adjusted the height to 40 here, and then I also messed around with the footer as well, the height of that section. So you'll see here I adjusted it to about 13 pixels here, so you can see that for yourself. And yeah, of course, I always just encourage to do what's best, what you think is best. Like, we all have our own opinions on design, so one thing that looks great for me might not look great for you. So that's why I don't really speak too much on the padding per se, because I leave it up to yourselves just to see what is best for you. And I know you're watching a tutorial to see what I do, but that's, I think, also one thing that can help you grow is just figuring stuff out on your own. So that's just one thing there. And yeah, right here again, I'm just having a quick glance again, making sure that I'm fully happy with everything before I move on to the next page. So we'll see here if I do make some adjustments. Like, yeah, here we go. We adjusted some of the height here because, like I said, I'm a perfectionist, and I'm never happy with how my designs are, so I always come back to them. I always change it up. But you see here, I'm just adjusting all the height too small here, because that's usually what I use, and I don't know why I stuck with like medium. I guess I just wanted to change it up, but I always just come back to small because it just makes it a bit more compact and not as loose. Well, I don't know another word to describe it, but yeah, here you can see the final rundown. Well, hopefully, at least hopefully I don't have to make any more changes, but I think this actually turned out really well, I have to say. And hopefully you're liking this video so far, and if you've stuck here through this video and listened to me kind of just talk about random stuff, you know, I'm surprised you made it this far. So yeah. Yeah, here's the mobile as well, just a quick run through of it. And yeah, it's all turned out great, I have to say. And hopefully you like it as well. You know, it actually took so much time to actually just design the website, to create it, and to record all this video. Like, you can't imagine how long it took, but yeah, it's like a 5-page website, so it's different when it's just like a few pages. But I wanted to go all out and to give as much value as possible, you know, because it's just something I love to do. So I actually just want to help people out. I'm not really trying to gain anything, I'm just trying to help people. So yeah, if you do like this video and you're still here, I'd really appreciate a like, or even just comment and subscribe. That's the only thing I'd actually ask if you did that. So obviously it's not obligated, it's just optional. So okay, enough of me rambling. Let's get into the next design. Actually, before that, I've noticed that I'm on the navigation, and yeah, I didn't touch anything to the navigation here because it actually looked great. So yeah, let's go to the next page here. So right here, I'm just saving all these sections that I'm going to use in the future. So you see the little heart icon. Yeah, I'm pressing it on a few of the sections that I'm going to use in this page here, just to save some time, and since we already have the elements, why not use them? So right here, I'm getting rid of the image and the cards here, and I'm just going to keep the gradient and the headings, and then just adjust them a little bit. So I'm moving the text and the button to the left here, and aligning them to the left as well. So you can see if that's not really working, you can align it manually there. And then I'm just going to move the gradients to the offset to the right. So this is what I'm doing here, and adjusting it to my liking. And onto the next section here, I've just added in the image and added some border radius to it, the 20 pixel, and then I just copied and pasted the heading and the paragraph text, and then I'm also just going to copy the text from the section where I took it from. And yeah, I noticed there actually that I messed up and didn't use the text I used in the Figma file, so I just copied that and pasted it into this button here. So that's what I did here, just so you're aware. So I've just added a line block here, and then from that we're gonna just create 2 columns for image sections and then the text. So it's similar to the homepage work section, and you can see here I'm holding Alt and clicking it, and yeah, here again I noticed that I didn't adjust the padding or the gaps. I'm always bad for it, so hopefully it's not turned you off on this video, but yeah, it's something I have to get better at. But here I'm just going to replace the images and then add the text, so that's going to be pretty much straightforward here. So I've just adjusted all the text and the images here, and then this is how it's looking on the home page here. And then we're just going to go into the mobile here quickly and adjust everything, so this shouldn't take too long either. And as well, I just want you to be aware that this gradient that I've added at the top, I'm going to be changing it a bit, just so you're aware to come back to all the sections. So this is pretty much done then, and we're just going to go and remodify everything else on the page. So here it's pretty much done. I'm just going to adjust that here, and the mobile view is done here, and I'm just going to go give you a quick rundown on the desktop so you can see here for yourself, because hopefully you understood what to do in the desktop. I don't think I showed too much of it, but here it is on the mobile as well. It's very straightforward. It's just for the text, for the image blocks as well. You just have your image, your text, and then the button underneath, and then just copy that like 2 more times. So that's why I didn't show it too much here. It was just quite simple, and yeah, you can see me playing around with this gradient. I still wasn't too happy with it, so I'm gonna come back to that again and again, so just so you're aware. And onto the case study section here, or page I should say. So if you're not aware how to create a page, there's that plus icon at the right where you're at on the Squarespace menu, just add a page. And right here I'm just gonna, you know how I used the heart icon to save a section? I just did that with the section we created on the work page, and just copying the text and from the Figma file, and then gonna place it in here. So that's what we're doing here. Yeah, you see here the save sections that we're going to be using, and I'm going to keep going back and forth to a few of the pages just because I already have all the elements, so it just makes it a bit easier. And what I've done here so far is that I just added a shape in here. I've added some text where I center aligned, and now I have to just add some border radius to the shape. And also I just adjusted some of the padding there, so it's S, just so you're aware. And now onto the next section, where we'll be just creating just the image and then the shape, or the text, sorry. So this one's quite straightforward. I will just show you now. I'm just going to grab some of the gradients and place them on the side, literally just how that is there, and then grab an image, and then I'm going to use one of the images that I already have. And I've grabbed the text from the previous section, and then I just rewrote or recopied it, and then I just adjusted some of the padding there. Sorry, I've noticed I'm using the word adjusted so many times, but it's needed. So yeah, right now I'm just changing up, lining everything and giving enough space, making sure everything has enough space to breathe. So you can see here, yeah, this section is pretty much done here, and then onto the next section where it's just more like a gallery. And yeah, I'll save you some time here, just so you're aware. I'm just gonna add some text and some images. So for the image gallery, I'm just gonna use three images, like two vertical and one kind of horizontal, and I'm gonna add some border radius to them, the 20 pixel, and then I'm just gonna duplicate these three images and then basically rotate the order that they're in, and I've just duplicated them by holding the Alt key and then just dragging them down, so that just creates like another copy of the image. And yeah, I'm just putting in some placeholder images for the website. So let's now make the mobile version of this website. And what's great about using the saved sections is that they're already kind of finished for you. You know, since I already created them before, there's not much that you really have to do. And yeah, look how quick I'm creating the mobile view here. And to be fair, yeah, there's not much to this page in terms of like complexity, so that's why it's not taking as long. But even still, it I don't know, for me personally, mobile view doesn't take as long as the desktop view. So yeah, like I mentioned before, I'm not going to keep rambling on. So yeah, yeah. So here's the section here that probably might confuse you a bit, but I'm just adding the gradients underneath the image here. So yeah, it's this one. It shouldn't be complicated, but it might confuse you. So here I've kept the yellow gradient at the top and the pink one at the bottom, like the same kind of layout. So yeah, that's that section here. And I've just I forgot to rotate the order, so I'm just putting the image at the top and then the text at the bottom. And now for the gallery section here, I've just moved the text to the top here, and I'm just aligning it, the bottom alignment to the heading there, and just seeing where I need it. Like for example here, I noticed that the padding could have been a bit smaller, so I did that there. And then for the images, yeah, look, they're pretty much kind of finished there. I'm just gonna, you know, like how we have on the desktop, one big landscape image and then two vertical. I'm just going to try recreate the same order here, so I'll come back to you and just to show you exactly what I've done. And yeah, this is how the gallery is looking here. And yeah, so it's pretty much finished this section of the website, and we're going to go on to the next page. But before we do that, I just want to give you a quick run through of the mobile and the desktop both, because I just realized that I only showed the mobile there. So this is how it's looking on mobile here. Quite simple, and you know, for a case study it does the job. You don't need anything too complex for a case study, so that's why I kind of kept it a bit more simple. So here we're going to be creating a new page here, and we're going to get straight to it. And right now I'm just going to save some more of the sections that we're going to use in this new page. So you see here I'm taking a lot of the sections because we're going to just reuse elements here, and that's what I like about Squarespace, that you can reuse elements, which it is nice. So I'll give them props. This was a good feature, so we're gonna take advantage of it. So yeah, let's get to it. And actually I forgot to add the final CTA to the work section here, so yeah, please forgive me for that. And yeah, hopefully you just added that in there and it wasn't too big of an issue. Yeah, so here we're going to use a lot of the saved sections for this services page. So we're going to use the hero section that we have saved, and we're also going to use the 3 column image section that we used on the landing page, sorry. And then we're just going to remove the paragraph text and just keep the heading text here. So, and we're just going to align that to the left. So that's all we're doing. And we're also just going to change the text for these sections here and also the images. So this is what it's looking like here. And yeah, that one was pretty straightforward, so I skipped a bit of it. And yeah, just use also some placeholder images just so you get an idea. And we're also going to use another save section that we have. So this kind of a trust trust section here. We're going to just rotate the order and bring it to this side here. So I've just selected everything and pressed shift and dragged it all. So that might save you a bit of time instead of constantly dragging everything individually. So here I'm just copying in the text and just making it making the order work. And yeah, you can see here that the text wasn't working. It was all just staying to one section because I needed to have another heading there. So I just removed that, and we're going to be adding in a different paragraph section here for that. And also, I didn't like the emojis that I used previously, so I just took them from the pricing section. I've added it below there, and yeah, well, now it's everything is aligned, and I think this section is working well. I just need to change the image. So that should do it there. And like I mentioned, I already added in the pricing section here, and we're just going to add in the FAQ and then the final CTA. So I think for this final CTA, yeah, I'm just going to rearrange the order. So keep the image on the right and then the text and the button on the left. So yeah, this page was quite simple. And like I mentioned, I wanted to reuse a lot of the elements that we have because it keeps the website consistent. So when people are clicking on different pages, they recognize it's from your page and your branding. So yeah, that's why we're doing it. And plus it saves a bit of time. So yeah, the mobile view, this should not take too much time either. Just make sure that all the elements are okay, they all work together, or there's not no weird spacing. So just have a quick run through on that, because I'm sure there will be something. Like you see here, the button here was just above the paragraph, so I just brought it down to the bottom of the page, and then just had to drag the shape. So yeah, that was an example. That was kind of the main thing that we did change, so it makes sense, but everything else should be okay. Now let's create the About Us page here. So I just added in a new blank page. So like always, we're using the save section, so we're just going to change the text on these and then go to the next section. So for this section here, I'm going to be using two text blocks, one for the heading and then one for the paragraph, and I'm going to just paste one to the left here and then one to the right, and I'm going to be using text aligned left for both of them, as I know probably some people will be like, oh, why are you not using right aligned for the right section? But it's always better to use left when possible, because that's just a more natural way for our eyes to read things. So that's also why. And yeah, we're going to use an image here just to show off the theme that you have. If not, you can make or change up this section here yourself. I just tailored it more for like an agency type website, but this also is suitable for anyone. So take bits and pieces of this website if it doesn't fit to you. But yeah, we're gonna just stick with this and use an agency kind of theme website. So for the next section here, I've just copied the text and the heading from the previous section and just changing it up. And for this section, we're going to be using some blocks. So we're going to be adding in some statistics for each block, and it's just to prove your credibility in the business and why people should choose you. So if you have any statistics, it'd be good to use this section here. And for the blocks, I used the gray color in our theme, and then I just added in a text block, and I'm center aligning the text, and then I'm also making this text a bit bigger than the paragraph text that we're using. So you'll see here now that I'm adding in the paragraph text, and yeah, this is just to kind of create a contrast, and we're gonna just align it to the center to the whole block. So you see here, we aligned it to the center and the text is centered. So that's the block here. We're just gonna duplicate this 4 times and add in 3 more statistics for this section. And yeah, don't forget to change the grid section there for your liking. And now I'm just saving another section from the home page, and I'm going to use it for the next section here on the About Us. So just bear with me. I'm gonna grab it here, and then I'm gonna get rid of all the cards bar 2, and these will just be for a mission and value statement. So I've placed the mission and value statement in here, and I'm just gonna align everything to the center of the blocks here. So I've also renamed the header there, and now all I have to do is just change up the gradients to basically fit inside the blocks here. So you see I'm trying to attempt that, but I'm failing miserably. But yeah, I have it here now, so it's all good. So yeah, this is the section here, and we're gonna move on to the next one now. So with another save section, the one that we used before, that we got from our homepage, we're gonna use some of the image and the text blocks. And yeah, you can see here that we're not using it fully, we're just using some sections here, and it's just saves us some time. So you can see here we have everything in place, and this is just going to be for a testimonial section. So we're going to just change the image and the text, and then add the gradient to the background. So I'll start doing that now. Okay, so we copied the gradient from the top section there, and now it's just to align it. I'm gonna have the pink one opposite. So I'm gonna have the pink on the left, the orange in the middle, and then the yellow on the right. So yeah, this is the way I'm just doing it here. And now I just have to scale it proportionally and scale it right. So it's just a lot of adjustments. So I just settled on putting the gradients just behind the image there. And now for the text, I just copied in some star emojis because I just wanted to make it as easy as possible for you. Like I mentioned before, I could use like PNGs, like images, or add in like a text block for some SVGs, but I just wanted to make it this as simple as possible for you to follow along with and to just get your own inspiration from it. So here we added in a few separate blocks, or two paragraph blocks, because yeah, Squarespace can be a bit awkward with that, but nonetheless, let's move on, and we're on to the next section here. And yeah, this next section is just the final CTA. So instead of using the one that we had before, we're going to just try change it up a bit, because it's always nice to do that, not to keep everything the same. So here we're just changing it up and just keeping the text in the center, and yeah, everything in the center, and then we just copy the shape. Actually, I think I just inserted that shape there, and yeah, it's also added just in the border radius that I'm sure you're aware of now. And yeah, that's the desktop, and now onto the mobile. This one should be pretty straightforward as well. And yeah, for this section here, I just rotated the order there. And now this one here, since it's a new section, we're gonna have to realign or readjust all the elements. So you see they're all over the place. So we're gonna just have to put them all in the same boxes and adjust the alignment to the center. So I'm gonna just do that with all the blocks here. And now that that's done, we're just gonna move on to the next section. And since this section was saved, it was not too much adjustment to it. We just had to move the containers, move them up, and then also just adjust the gradient to fit both of the containers. And for the testimonial section, we just have to adjust some of the text, and then adjust the gradient for it to be behind the image. So you'll see here, I'm just going to drag them up to the image, and yeah, just drag them underneath it. And this is what it's looking like here. And yeah, I think here I just adjusted some of the padding here. I just thought it was just too small. And yeah, I'm gonna do the same for this section. And yeah, I always just come back to some sections if I'm not too happy with them. So you'll see me if I go through the website, like I'm sure you probably have. Because sometimes you don't get it right 100% on the first try, so it's always good to look back. And onto the final CTA section here, we're just gonna, everything is pretty much there. We're just gonna adjust it to fit into the shape, and yeah, that should be pretty much done now. And yeah, we have one more page to go, so we're nearly there, guys. Stick with the stick with this tutorial. We're nearly there, and yeah, we're gonna go straight to it. And I know of course we never get straight to it. I just need to quickly add these shapes to the CSS there, and then we should be done. So just add the border in, because once you read or duplicate another section, the CSS code no longer is validated for that section, because it's a different section. So yeah, pretty straightforward. So this is the website here now, or the About Us section here. So you can have a quick look through on that, and then, well, hopefully I get to the desktop. Actually no, I was just checking out, I don't know what, but yeah, this is how it's looking. And just a few more adjustments. Actually, I know, I'm sorry, I adjusted the padding to small, because I don't like the end padding. I know that's just my preference. Yeah, I promise we're going to get to the contact us page. I know, sorry for dragging this. But yeah, just wanted to show you before we actually did move, because I did do a few more adjustments before I did actually go onto it. So, and you know how I mentioned that I was going to come back to the gradient section here? Well, here it is here. I'm adjusting it a bit here, just so you're aware. And I just applied that to all the sections, just so you're aware as well. So that's what I did. And finally, we're on to the last page, the contact page. So let's get to this. We're going to start off as usual with the save section, and we're just going to adjust the text. And then below it, we're going to add our contact form and whatnot, the contact information, and then we'll go from there. So onto the new section here, just search up for form, or look through it through the list there when you click on add block, just to bring up the form. And then we're going to bring it up, we're going to use a few text sections here for other ways to reach out to this business. So we're going to add in like the email, the phone number and whatnot. So yeah, stick around for that. Yeah, so I have just the text here for the email. So I use the same text block and add it in the heading and the paragraph section for them, and I'm just going to copy and paste them and just change the values. So onto the contact form. So to be honest, I didn't design it in Figma, because whenever I do, it never turns out the way I want on Squarespace. So we're just gonna give it a go. We're gonna freestyle it. So that's what I'm doing here. You know, feel free to use the settings that I've used for this, or you can go other way. But I'm gonna use the beige color for the background, some border radius, and then the inputs for the fields. I just use one of the pre-made ones there. So the text fields will be the same color as the background. So I think that's the design for that. It's pretty simple, but it does the job. You know, it should be there. And usually this is where you'd end a contact form, or not like a contact us page, but I wanted to do something different and expand on it, because you know there should be a reason why people should contact you as well on that page. So I'm gonna go straight to it and create a section for why you should contact us, and we're gonna use one of the sections from the homepage again, like the container one here, and just get rid of some of the containers and just change up some of the text. So here's what I've done. I've kept true the containers and just changed up all the text, kept the heading and the paragraph, but aligned it to the center, and also readjusted the gradient. So yeah, now I'm just going to take the testimonial as well, and take that just to add more credibility and trust, and you know, to get them to contact your business. So that's what we're doing here. We're just going to add that underneath that section. And yeah, here it is here. We don't have to do anything to it because we already have the testimonial in place. And for the final thing, we're going to add in another final CTA just in case they don't want to scroll up. They can always just click that button. And of course, this button you can have it sent to any location really, whether it be like, you know, like a booking system or just your contact us page. So that is up to yourself to decide. I just kept it kind of blank for you to put your input in. So yeah, for this section here, don't forget to add in your borders, and yeah, this should be pretty much done. We just have to adjust the mobile view as always, so we'll get to that. So here's just some edits I'm doing here. I'm just gonna align everything to the left, and the form you don't really have to edit much in because that's just a pre-made feature from Squarespace. But here I'm just kind of resizing a lot of the blocks. You'll see here that I'm just moving up, yeah, just to make it work well with each other, just give all the elements enough spacing between. So the same with this section. This we just had to move them up like the previous section, or on the previous page we just had to move the containers and then move the gradients as well. So the testimonials we don't have to change. And yeah, this one here, I don't know why I thought we adjusted it in the previous page, so I might have to look at that. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's nothing too crazy anyways. But yeah, we just that should be it pretty much. I'm just gonna have a quick look there and make sure that is okay. Yeah, so here's the full contact page, how it's looking. So yeah, I think I did a good job on it. Hopefully you did as well. There might be a few more things that we'll have to do, like such as adjust some of the buttons and kind of the footer as well. So that's just some of the things I'll have to get done. So yeah, one thing right now that I'm doing is that for all the sub navigation pages, I'm aligning the buttons to the top, so instead of the middle, because after looking at it a bit, I noticed that the spacing was just a bit too big. So I'm just changing it up there. So feel free to do that. And I'm also rearranging the navigation just to make sure that everything is coherent and makes sense. So right now as well, I'm attaching the pages to the buttons, so I'm going to go through the website and adjust all the buttons just to make sure that it's working well. So I mentioned about the footer here, so we're just going to add the links to the text here. So that's pretty much it and then also add some of the text and change it up. So that's what we're going to do. And on the mobile, I noticed that the footer needed some more adjustments, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just rearranging some of the items, moving the spacing, and like I mentioned before, this is something that you can it's all down to preference really. So here, for example, I'm moving the text to the center here because I thought it worked a bit better. So that's just something else, and yeah, I'll get back to you if there is anything else. So I checked out and I think I'm happy with everything here. So we're just going to do a quick run through of the website just so we all go through what we've accomplished. So here's just the homepage here. We're going to go straight through all the pages on the desktop, then the mobile. So yeah, hopefully you followed along. I hope you actually got some value from this website and learned a thing or two, whether it was about web design or Squarespace in general. So yeah, hopefully there was something that was of value. So yeah, this is the about us here, and I'm quite happy with how this turned out. And
yeah, it took so much time. I wasn't expecting it to take so much time, because I created a tutorial beforehand, like a nail salon one, and that took about like 8 hours or so. It wasn't that bad, but this one this one definitely took a lot longer. So yeah, I'm really hoping that some people actually watch it, because I honestly just genuinely wanted to help people. That's kind of what I realized I wanted to do. So this is one way I can help, is through my design skills. Well, hopefully you think like I don't want to brag or anything, so that could be I don't want you to take it the wrong way. So yeah, I'm planning on also creating more tutorials if this was helpful, and yeah, please let me know, because I am kind of interested in creating some more for you, and I already have one on the way, or a design on the way, so I just have to film that video. But I'm planning on creating more of these styles. So yeah, like I know I'm rambling on, but I don't know what else to say, because I just want to showcase the template in the background, and I don't want it to be awkward with just it being silent. So this is why I'm rambling on. Just pretend I'm white noise, and that I'm not saying anything of value to you. Yeah, look, if you made it this far to the video, honestly, I'm actually I'm so glad you did. Like, it really means a lot to me that people actually would watch my videos. So, because that's you don't really kind of grasp that concept that people actually do watch it, or are interested in the value that you bring, because here I am just sitting in my room just creating this video, not thinking too much of it, but it could impact people in a different way. And I know it's just a website thing, but I do want to bring that value. I do want to help people achieve their goals, and their website related goals as well. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And yeah, hopefully if you need any help or anything like that, you can always reach out to me. I'm gonna link my email, my socials in the description as well, so feel free to reach out, and I'll help out with the best of my ability. So that was everything here. Thank you so much for watching this video, and have a good one.